Welcome back, my dear friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Stop telling women, I love you, and repeating yourself again, again, and again. And I really want to help you understand why you should have stopped doing this by now, especially if you are the channel subscriber and have been here for a while. I really have a goal with this channel to help men that are very ambitious, very driven, solid character kind of men, and beautiful, feminine, smart, and educated women to be able to find each other in this world of nonsense and low standards. And that's why I'm sharing my videos. And so in this video is really inspired by recent events, and I understand that maybe more people need to hear. I believe that it will help not only if you're dating an Eastern European, Slavic, traditional type of woman, but 100% if you are in that position. Welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's very late here in US, so we have a little bit of ambience. Oh, my dear friends, where do I start? Where do I start with this? The more you tell a woman that you love her, the more you tell the words of love and all kinds of confessions, the more you repeat yourself, the less meaning that these words will have. The more you say, I love you, the less it will mean in the end. And let me tell you why I have some new people on my channel. It's absolutely not that Eastern European women are not romantic. It could not be further from the truth. Some of you may think that, but it's not like that at all. It's just in our culture, in Slavic culture, in Eastern European culture, you usually say the things you truly mean, and best of all, before you ever say a thing, you make a woman feel. You make her feel that she's loved, she's protected before you ever say these words, before you ever try to express yourself. I made a video about Don't Say I Love You, I think so long ago on this channel. But if you would only understand that to tell a woman that you love her and do not protect her from other men, um, from hardships that life itself bring to us every single day, to not have your guidance and protection over her on daily basis, to not take responsibility of her, if you consider that you want to be her man, you want to make commitment, how that is not a contradiction in itself. If you think about this, it's very similar as you will be, you probably, thank you everybody, I appreciate the kind words and compliments, thank you. It would be the same type of contradiction if you would tell a word, a promise, and never follow up on the words and promises that you've made. Imagine you promise to show up to pick somebody to take them to the airport, and you never come. Imagine you make promises to people that you love, and you never follow up, you never take an action. This is pretty much the same as telling women that you love her and not show up in her life, and do not show up in her life in any way. Eastern European culture in general is a little bit reserved. It has a little bit of reserved style to people's communication, and it's not that people that they don't have emotions or they don't care about each other. It's something completely different. It's people do not rush to tell things that they don't mean. People do not rush. We have this saying, don't throw your words to the wind, which means don't just throw your words if they have no meaning. If you just feel, maybe as a man, you feel infatuation, you see a woman, you observe her, you assume that you know her, and you have a moment where you feel that you want to have her in your life. You want, I've learned that men like to possess things, and you feel that she could be one of those things you can possess. But you forget that having a woman of value that can have incredible impact on your life always comes at a cost. And number one important action that you need to realize and take is to provide protection for her life, for her physical and emotional and material well-being in this world. So it's up to you. You do not owe anything to anyone unless you say these words in Slavic culture, in traditional culture. When you take the courage, you approach a woman, you tell her, you probably have been observing her, maybe you have seen her for a while, maybe you've spent time with her, and you realize that this is a woman that you only meet once in a lifetime. And I know that men always know that when they meet a woman that is once in a lifetime. I wouldn't even say one in a million, but I would say once in a lifetime. So you should and have to treat her as such. And it's not because that she demands it. It's not because you once again owe something to anyone, but it's simply because if you come across someone very special, the only natural thing to do is to protect, is to take care, is to make sure that everything is taken care of. And with your presence in her life, she can relax. This is something that I hope with helping of my channel, my videos, a man who wants to learn will truly understand. It comes way before the financial support and protection. It comes way before everything. If you do not feel that you want to protect this woman from potentially any other man, from her struggling, from her being feeling unprotected, maybe you should not say these words. and especially not to have to continuously repeat them. And as I told you in the beginning of this video, the more you repeat these words, the less meaning that they bring. I do understand the difference between the cultures and the modern day mess that many had created. But if you think about it, there is so many people on the other side that are looking for the true connection, that are not looking for the man that will eat their ear off. These ladies are not looking for the man that, as we say in Eastern Europe, will put spaghetti on our ears. You know, it's still, there are still people and cultures that appreciate man's word. In fact, we have still have the saying, the man worth as much as he follows up his word. So the more you say, I love you, I miss you, you are the one, and all of this together, the less meaning really it has, unless there is a followed up action. That what makes it something important for a woman to pay attention. And the best way to express your feelings, to create connection, the the best way to do that, way before you ever open up your heart and do all that, is to create that invisible wall of protection, is to start taking action to look out for this woman. The best thing you can ever do is to make her feel the love that you have, versus trying to convince her in the way you feel about her, because it brings a woman pretty serious frustration. It's actually one of the way how people never build connection, because you hear words but there is no action, there is nothing that manifests in your life to feel that something something is really taking place. And one of the things that you do for a woman that you think and you find the one, please, my dear friends who joined in the stream, please tell me, when you had met the woman, a special woman in your life, how long did it take you to figure that out? How long does it really take to know? I believe that most of us know very, very soon. Almost right away, you know that. It doesn't take whole a lot of time to figure out, and that's why for the ladies who are watching, that's why women should never agree to be with a man who tells them, oh yes, you are so lovely, let's see where it goes, let's see where it takes us, because we know exactly where it's going to take us as grown-ups and people that have been living for a moment in this world. We know exactly where it's gonna take us, but it's how you approach and how, whether you're ready, take the chances. There are quality women everywhere in the world. There are quality women even in this crazy um, apps and dating scenes, but most of quality women are rare appearance. It's almost like you when you go to the store and you're looking for something that you really want and you look everywhere for it, then you ask the person behind the counter, and they may or may not have it, but they may tell you where you can find it. It is a process, a question of luck and a process to be able to find these kind of ladies for your life. But it's not impossible. And there are places where people of character are gathering. And I can reassure you that they don't gather on a website that cross the lines. They don't gather on a YouTube channels that bash one or the other. They don't gather there. You know, I tried to watch some controversial channels for a while, and I believe the goals of these channels to thrive all of the traumas and frustration. Their goals is not to unite, is not to point out the gems and the people that create connections and just people that bring value to this world in any way. They always take the most outrageous examples and put them on display. So, therefore, I just want to tell you, if you're looking for connection, if you're looking for to bring somebody beautiful and valuable to your life, you have to almost see those websites as non-existent. You can never associate or um, be a listener of the websites or channels that um, play to the either side, but also put down or drag, I don't know how else to say it, the either sides, because you know we all know the truth in this life that there is nothing new really. People create things, not healthy relationships, and different deviations out of boredom, lack of education, lack of discipline. You know, we have all these communities with many letters, and I don't know. I have a lot of questions, but you know, we don't know. None of that can create um, continuation, something that will last through ages, and therefore, it's not even worth of anyone's attention. None of that mess is worth to looking up to, because the things that they are offering to us are not about beautiful life and life continuation. Those are just very sad things that going on right now in the world, and that's why I'm very glad to gather people here that understand the manipulation of this Vogue modern Vogue modern style. Or thank you. Somebody is complimenting the stream tonight. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I cannot. Let's see if I can hear your message. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support, my darling. Yes, hopefully soon enough we can do more right here on the stream. But I appreciate everyone's support, and let me read your comments, and maybe you have some questions. But most of all, I want you to understand nobody is perfect. That we as women, we truly understand that nobody is perfect. We understand that life is not just black and white. But before you approach a woman, before you tell her the big words and promises for the your own for respect for your own respect, for you to be able to respect your own word, please don't tell her all these combinations of all of these things before you start looking out for her. If you tell a woman that she is special, she means something to you, please make sure that number one, you protect her from burnout and stress, from other men approaching her, from her struggling financially, from her having to work against her wishes, against her desires to contribute. I see nothing wrong as women wanting to contribute to society, to create better, to care, to do beautiful things. But there are times and circumstances when women completely exhaust um, things that they could have contributed if their cup was full, if they didn't have to work the overtime, if they didn't have to miss out on their children and have to give up their children for other people to raise them. I think we would live in a completely different world if men would remember once again what the word protection, the meaning of the word protection. Before you take a woman, you want to be possessive and jealous of her. Before you do all that, you must consider that in order for her to belong to you, you have to claim her before the world, before her friends, before the state, before God, before community. And for those of you who don't believe in none of those things, this could be a wrong place together. But also, if you ask yourself an honest question, if those things are helping to keep society together, and what happens when people don't follow none of those things, if you would ask yourself an honest question, you would know that it makes a lot of sense to consider all of the above before you say the words, before you ask a woman to commit to you without anything in return. I really, really wish that women in the Western world would understand the value of commitment, the value of themselves, the value of them in this crazy modern world, and pull back a little bit on stress, on the rat race and all the drama that we have, and reassess the energy they put. Because the problem is some companies could run and survive without companies, and places and government could survive with less time that the women give, but not so much the our future generation. At this very moment, we can tell how much that we had lost, because We are living in times when we have iPads to raise children. It seemed to be an extreme luxury for a parent to be able to spend time with their loved ones. And this all starts from women having low standards and believing in a fake commitments. When as a woman you believe that just because somebody likes you or lust or have lust for you, but they call it love, women tend to believe these things and lower their standards. I truly do believe with all my heart that one of the things that can change the society we are living in is women picking up their standards and their expectations of the men that they allow into their mind, heart, body, and soul. I think that somehow in a feminist around the world, it's empowering to women to give themselves to just about anyone. And that could be for another conversation, but I want you to understand that don't be surprised if you get rejection from the woman that you like when all you do is sharing the words. Yes, you could be in a state of infatuation, and I know it's hard to focus, but that's a way to secure a once in a lifetime connection is to put action before your words. I've spent a lot of time with people and of course living my own life experiences that I've had, and all I can say, there is nothing more disappointing when you meet in a man and his words, his actions are not following his words. I understand the desire for expression. I understand the desire to share every single thing that you experience when you have the true connection. I completely understand it feels better than any alcohol. And I don't know, uh, I don't have much experience with drugs, but I bet that it's better than any drug you ever take. And we'll all rush to say things and promise things, but one way to lose a woman of your dreams is to endlessly tell her the words of love and never make her feel that she's loved, she's taken care of, she's priority on your list. All your achievements, all your goals are connected with desire to protect her. That is the most important thing that you can give. Thank you. Thank you. And now I'm gonna give attention, comments. I'm gonna give some attention. Thank you for the comments. Elizabeth, thank you. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for your support. Would you be so kind if you're still here on the live stream? Could you please drop the links and how people can connect and share and support this platform? Thank you. Evening, dear. You look beautiful tonight. I love the background music. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. All the way to Scotland. Thank you so much for your support. Dave Pinero. Hello, Dave. Uh, I'm sorry. Amal Sagarika, you are an angel. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can see the wings. Thank you. Thank you, Amal Sagarika. Dave is saying strong men. Yes. We are living in an era of such emasculation for men, but you shall never emasculate yourself. It's okay to take time for the reflection before you try to make connections and take steps, but by saying things and making them just empty words, you really I really do believe that that's an unfortunate way how the men sometimes emasculate themselves, and there is no need for this in this already complicated world. Thank you, Alsan. Hello, flower. Hello, Alsan. Actually, I have so many flowers. But I have a dream to do a live and have flowers surrounding me, especially now when spring and summer to follow up. You're gorgeous. Thank you, thank you so much for the compliments. I fully received the kindness. Dave, Eastern European women mentality is way different than Western women. You know, Western women, I live in the United States for so long. There are so many women as well that losing hope to find someone of value. There are people that have strong beliefs that also feel no hope. But I believe there are people of all the walks of life that are fully deserve of love and maybe could learn something, a thing or two from more traditional outlook on the world and not have to settle. A lot of people believe that they absolutely have to settle, otherwise they will never meet someone. But I don't believe that that's an answer. Um, there are quality people in this world. But I'm making this video in particular for Slavic outlook. It's not only because of what I just mentioned, but we are very particular with our words and expressions. It's still not common to just throw words that don't have meaning. We are very much reserved. Also, we can be so emotional and warm, but we really assign meaning to the words. And the more you say this particular expression, once again, the less impact that they have. That's just how we were raised, grew up. I don't know so much about the very new generation. I don't know what the teenagers are probably completely lost in this world, but we are talking on this channel about people who are already experience the world and looking forward to create the meaningful connections and not looking for a bunch of empty compliments. I would say in American culture it's a little bit, in general it's a little bit different. People are a lot easy, um, so maybe don't put always so much meaning. It's hard to say, but trust me, those of uh, I actually would like to ask those of you who have been following my channel and maybe right now you are very satisfied with what you have, please comment in a permanent comment section how your wife would react if you would consistently tell her these words versus were you taking an action, and how she does not need any kind of Viagra when when she see you taking action. What does it do for a woman's mind, and it's almost like the chemistry changing inside of us as women when we see the man that has a plan and following and making actions and that looking out. It's just something on a level, subconscious level, happens that works so much better than saying 100 times this thing and then never follow up, never give protection. I was always amazed by men who claim love and never worry about you being targeted by other men. Now it's also online, it's outside. How can you not want to protect a woman? Make sure that she is not open for any other connection, because she knows that you got her, you covered her in every way that you can think of. But also you make it clear with the life she has to any other man that she is taken. You don't put her as a target, you don't put her on display for other men to shoot their shot. And I was always amazed that men don't understand these things, that when you love something you protect it, you don't give a single chance for that to be taken away, especially by any other man in this case. Action, not words. I'm gonna avoid some of the questionable comments. If somebody does not enjoy the topic or delivery or background noise, you are welcome to uh, go back through the entrance. Action, not words. Less than 90 days, usually less than 30 days. It's much sooner than that. I was asking the question when a man knows. I can only say that I lived a little bit of life as well, and it's a lot sooner than that. It's a lot sooner than that. You may not say it, you may not tell anybody about the feeling you have for a woman, but it doesn't take none of that, not nearly as long. You know that. You may not voice it, but it takes, I think, from my experience, it takes first meeting so very often to know. Not that you have ever voiced it or say it out loud, it's best to not. It's really best to keep it to yourself for a while, but you know right away. You know right away. Dave said, unfortunately, I can say because most of the women I had met on dating apps were scammers. Well, that's the problem with the dating apps. There is a possible to make a brief connection, but most women of class, if they ever on a dating app, it's only for brief moment. Only for brief moment. Okay, I regret going on dating apps because it's all it brings. Listen over. Yes, Dave, you should reach out to my. I don't know, Elizabeth. Could you please drop all my information if you are still on the channel, or any other of my mods, which are probably not here tonight, but you can find my information also a little bit later in description. You should reach out and share who you are and what you're looking for. You never know. You never know. Um, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but international health coach. I know your name, Sean, I think. But I know who you are anyway. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the compliments as well. Many women in the West are simply lost. Yes, you know why they're lost? Because they have no direction. From every corner, Everyone screams something else. A lot of men who criticize the women online and call them words, they don't offer a solution. They don't they have nothing to bring to the table. They only criticize, but they are part of this situation. In fact, they created situations as they don't offer a solution. All they teach is for these messy things to prolong. They come with no solution. They show no values. Sorry, guys. I'm losing my coordination. It's a little bit late. The fact it's men's duty, responsibility, and privilege to claim the lady, do the hard work to make certain you are building a legacy for your family and uplift your beloved family is needed. Well, yeah, when you decide to make moves and connect, especially when you plan a family and you connect two families together, it's a really major step. It's a really major step. And I like how before, when people were to connect, to intertwine their families forever together, there were there was community that was there to decide whether or not uh, both of them are a good match. Now, when you meet people randomly, you don't know, you don't have that community to watch, to observe, to know anything about them. That's why there is so much devastation and so few, seemingly so few stories of success. But you know things still happens, and when we start to pay attention, there is actually very many stories of success. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, thank you, guys. These are my links if you want to connect. Elizabeth just drops them in the chat. Dave, hello, hello, good to see you, Dave. Dave OMG, or Dave OMG, how I used to call you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on the stream. Thank you. Wonderful to see you here tonight. Um, Wise women are learning to primarily look wiser, more mature men. Yes, it's true because it takes a lot for a man to figure out the proper way. But also, as women, we are developing faster, and our mature level is pretty different from men, especially in the beginning. I believe later on in life, and you maybe on your second or third attempt, or life is such that sometimes it's so that you were only meant to be with someone for a season, and when you reach that certain age of maturity, the difference is no longer that um have the same effect. But in the beginning of the journey, yes, the man should absolutely be the wiser, more experienced one, with the ones that takes a lead and knows what he's doing, that he takes you on a program as a woman rather than asking you for your solutions and your guidance. I have whole another I forgot I have this whole another example. I think I'm gonna save it for another video. Oh, I let me read some more comments. Younger men are uh, younger men are just not ready yet usually to take on. It depends. Sometimes in some families that are very traditional and so on, they may be seen examples, but there is certain beauty in being with more mature men, especially here, because the peace that he brings, the peace that usually come with a little bit of age. with a little bit of living. Nevertheless, I just recently got an email from someone from internet, not from the channel. Somebody who probably followed my profile. Also, I don't really use the social media uh, for updates or keeping my life extremely private for a while now. And this man, I would say he's probably my mother's age, or maybe similar to that. He was asking on the ways and possibilities to meet me and things like that. And then in the end, he asked me, let me actually read what he asked exactly. He asked me whether I don't mind to teach him how he. Think about this. Man reach out, an a mature man reaching out to a woman and asking her to lay out a plan on how he can reach her, or on how he can gain her trust, on how he can win her. I'm like, wow, that's next level. Not only you would like to, not only you don't. It's like I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to even try to bother or and be the. I'm speechless. Let me find if I see the steps. Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, he she just basically asked me, could you teach me? And I was just like, yeah, all that women look in our life is to have a father. I actually wrote him back. I know many women who dream to have a husband who could be by the age like their father, and asking them to teach you how to gain your trust. The whole point for a woman to be with mature men, men who got things together, is that she can follow she can follow his lead. Of course, I mean, yeah, he literally wrote, "Could you teach me?" Yeah, I made sure to put my payment link in there because, it's an exchange, right? Things we don't. I've learned one thing: men don't appreciate things that they get for free. So without any effort, but it's just so sad. I specifically went to his profile and saw a man, gray hair man, that asked me to teach him. He doesn't know, there is no reference to the channel, it's just my profile on one of the social media pages. I'm like, I know singer too, but that looks like a hopeless case, honestly. I'm sharing this with you. So it's such a weird example because it's so sad for me to see when men give up their when men give in into their own emasculation. How can you do that? Why? Most men who found me for help and guidance on this channel, they made at least a research. They at least used Google search or YouTube search and were looking for some answers or tips for Slavic culture. But in this case, I'm seeing a man who simply want to know the answers without moving a finger or getting out of the couch. So that is how sad, and I hope that you know what? I might put some of the screenshots in my Patreon. For those of you who support me, I didn't mind sharing some of the personal stuff that I deal with. It's a real life example. Maybe my coffee and Patreon both for those of you guys who support me no matter what, despite of the issues with the YouTube channel. I'm gonna share with you some screenshots in the beginning of the week probably, since I'm take a weekend off to be present and follow my own advice, so to speak. But on Monday, I will share the screenshots of for you what not to do and how to not approach a woman in under no circumstance, regardless if she's conservative or she's more modern, more progressive. You just like it's like a hunter, coming to shot a deer and like, hey, by the way, how do I trap you? Or can you please stand close so my bullet goes right through your head? It's like, no. Yeah, I just found it. I just could not believe it, to be honest. I wasn't sure what is going on. But yes, I agree that we appreciate the very reason why women appreciate mature men who are experienced, because they understand that need for support and just simply being able to have somebody above you, to have somebody that has authority, but that's something that is earned. As they say, you have to pay the cost to be the boss. You don't just come and say, "Hey, by the way, submit to me," or "Hey, by the way, it's something that naturally occurs when you know your moves, when you know what you're doing. These kind of things, they just simply naturally occurring. You don't demand these kind of things. Most women, the strongest women, the most independent women that you know, most of them dream to be able to put their head on a man's shoulders, on a man's shoulder. But as long as as long as the man is know the man is knowing what he's doing and not asking, oh my goodness, not asking for advice from a woman in this case. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, everybody. I was reading comments. Hello. It's really sad, Dave says. Yes, it is. Oh, my darling. Hello. I haven't seen you. Thank you. Yes, you can watch it when you have a moment from the beginning. Maybe, when you are doing something because I'm almost at the end. But thank you so much for joining. Yes. Oh my gosh. I went on. Yes, so thank you so much for joining, my dear friends. It's a little late. I don't even know. It's not yet midnight, but I want to share these things on my channel. They seem so obvious to me. They seem so common sense to me, but I think because of so many things being confusing, so many things that we fed from all this advice from the TV and from women being independent and from men being vulnerable to women. I think part of it, we have result. The it's truly backfired. It truly backfired, and sounds like diagnosis. I can teach him to embrace his masculinity. Yeah, well, I hope that that's what you're doing on your channel. I assume you have a channel. So I hope that's what you are doing on your channel. Is your name Sean? I think your name is Sean, if I remember it correctly. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know how old this man is, but I think he was about maybe, I think he's around 60, 65. And I know he has been watching me on social media for a while, but not social media, not any kind of content. It's just I have a page that I used to use, at least mostly for the family. But to be honest, I start to really get uncomfortable with sharing my personal things on social media. Um, I couldn't find a reason why I should not keep personal things inside of family and friends. And so there is very little trace, and also maybe things from the past. So he has been approaching, and I just felt so sorry. I just felt so sorry for the man that I offered him my coaching. Obviously, the man like this would have no chance with most women, but there is hope in the end, as long as you learn, as long as you just truly understand that in this case you're the one emasculating yourself. I just He was very offended when I talk about the the age. I know he was very offended, but I told him, generally women often don't mind to date more mature men. The issue is the age. The whole point of the age gap, it means experience. It's not how you look. That's why it's so ridiculous when people are older men trying to act young. I mean, it's nice when you have energy and zest for life and ambition and desire to just live fully and give it all. But that is why it is so frustrating or confusing when a grown man is trying to act young, because in many cases women fall for older men because of their experience, ambition, understanding of women. That is the whole point. The whole point to fall for open up or consider older men is that the value that the old-fashioned masculinity, the man who knew how to be man and took pride in it. That's If you're watching me and you are a mature generation, just took it that to your advantage. Don't try to learn the modern words and try to act young and put some, I don't know, holes in your jeans or things like that. Your attractiveness, your magnet for a woman is in the quality of your attention, is in things that you know. So the age difference translates purely into experience that you had lived. An experience is something you can purchase. You have to live through things in order to understand how to operate. That's why the more experienced someone is, the more you pay. The harder is to order their service, because their experience dictates the value that they bring. And that is why when a woman looks and considers an older man, a mature man, she assumes that value coming in a package. You don't, you know how they say in Ukraine that wisdom come with age, but unfortunately, sometimes it it's just the age. which really kind of um, I forgot this word. Uh, Not defines the purpose. Who can help me with this? Uh, I forgot this word, guys. It's 11 o'clock. Basically, not contradicts the purpose. Ah, who can help me with this? For those of you who are not asleep. I forgot this word for the life of me, but defeats. Yes, it defeats the purpose. You know, it defeats the purpose because the whole point of it all. Yes, defeats the purpose. Thank you, Linishka. Yes, defeats the purpose. You know, you don't need to hide your wrinkles. You don't need to, do the buttocks. You just, when you have the strengths, the experience, you can get a woman on your program. That is why so many women consider men of older age. But when you just have the older age and you don't have experience, you don't have the drive, the vision, yes, the age gap then defeats the purpose. Yes. Thank you for sticking up with me while I found the words. But that is all, my dear friends. So the words and love expressions can be a beautiful experience, when the men have proven things and already made you feel, you already know that he has you on the program. You already know that you really mean a lot to him. And then he tells you the words, expressions, and confessions. Then you can really feel things. You know that you truly know that he has purpose. It's not just the words that he enjoy to say because he likes how it feels to have you on his arm to show to family and friends. It's almost that it makes things beautiful when the man earn his way to tell you how he feels, to claim you between your family and friends. Yeah, it's a different experience than just repeating and reciting empty words that carry nothing. So that's all I have to say. I hope that you understood the purpose of this long life today, but I think that just a really, really simple message that there is there is nothing you can gain with recycling the things that you don't even feel or believe in as a man, because there is no way that as a man you value someone deeply and you are not driven to protect the one you value and care for. There is no way in the world that you can be waking up in the morning, do your work in the afternoon, and go about your day knowing you promise something to someone and they are not anywhere, they don't stand anywhere on the list of priorities today. There is no way that that is even true. So you truly do not tell the truth, not only to the woman but also to yourself.